1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Prime Minister says that the country's economy cannot be developed by forgetting the farmer communities. The government of Japan has provided their support to the digitalization project of the Rupawahini channels in Sri Lanka. The construction work at the Central Highway, halted due to the Pandukarana plant located in the road, has been completed. The BASL says that the growing trend of MPs exploiting parliamentary privileges is deeply concerning. Foreign news: North Korea fires intercontinental ballistic missile after threatening the US. News in detail. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the country's economy cannot be developed by forgetting the farmer communities. He made this comment while participating in the distribution of locally produced seeds in Mipe, Mawatagama, to enhance the farmers by targeting the export sector. He further said that the now country is improvising to a certain extent which has collapsed economically due to the past period. When developing the country economically, the support should be given to the small and medium-scale industries. The government of Japan has provided their support to the digitalization project of Rupawahini channels in Sri Lanka. The report in this regard has been handed over to Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena by the Sri Lankan Ambassador of Japan, Mr. Koshi Hideaki, at the Transport Ministry this morning. The existing all local channels are being broadcasting through the digital technology. Director Engineer of the project, Prasanna Rajapaksha, said that there is a possibility to save a large space of digits through this program. These digits can be used for other information technology needs. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that the construction work at the Central Highway, halted due to the Pandukarana plant located in a road, has been completed. The relevant construction company has requested to provide 5 billion rupees as compensation for the delay of the construction activities. The tree was cut and removed. He stated that it has been reported that there are 25 such plants in the area. Participating in the Dasadesin Hatha program of the SLBC, he said, measures have also been taken to plant 200 saplings of this plant. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The Bar Association of Sri Lanka BASL says that there is a growing trend of members of parliament exploiting parliamentary privileges. In a press release issued in light of the recent trend of pressure being exerted over the judiciary, the BASL raised deep concerns about the MPs exploiting parliamentary privileges by making statements in the House for matters which are sub judice or being considered by a court or judge. And that ends local news for now.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The National Dengue Eradication Unit says that 33 persons have died up to now this year infecting the dengue fever. More than 52,000 dengue patients have been identified during the past period of this year. The majority of cases have been reported from the Western Province. The unit has also pointed out that nearly 26,000 dengue cases have been reported from the Western Province. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight. The people of Monragala complained that the daycare centre building, which was constructed for the protection of children who have been subject to many harassments, are being admitted to the Monragala District Hospital as the daycare centre has not been opened yet. The daycare centre building was constructed in 2018 at a cost of 10.5 million rupees on a request made by the specialist doctor of the hospital, Ruwan Nanayakkara, from the Ministry of Child and Women's Affairs. And this is for the attention of the health authorities. And that came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to world news, the headlines. North Korea fires intercontinental ballistic missile after threatening the US. G7 to announce long-term Ukraine security package at NATO summit. And 7th cheetah dies in India since reintroduction. Japanese and South Korean officials report that North Korea has fired a suspected intercontinental ballistic missile. The long-range missile flew for more than an hour before landing short of Japanese waters this morning. Pyongyang's launch comes after it threatened retaliation against what it said were recent U.S. spy plane incursions over the territory. Earlier this week, it threatened to shoot down such planes. Washington has dismissed the accusations, saying its military patrols are in line with international law. G7 members are expected to ratify a long-term security arrangement with Ukraine at the NATO summit today. It will include defense equipment, training and intelligence sharing. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said the agreement would send a strong signal to Russian President Putin. It comes after Ukraine's President Zelensky criticized NATO's reluctance to offer Kyiv a time frame for joining the alliance. Mr. Sunak said Kyiv's allies were ramping up their formal arrangements to protect Ukraine for the long term. Another cheetah has died at a national park in India's Madhya Pradesh state, taking the number of big cat deaths to 7. A senior official at the Kuno National Park said the cheetah died due to suspected infighting. The male cheetah, named Tekes, was found with injuries by officials. Cheetahs were declared extinct in India in 1952, but they were reintroduced last year as part of an ambitious plan to repopulate these species. 8 cheetahs were translocated from Namibia to country in September 2022, while 12 were brought in from South Africa in February 2023. And back to the headlines of the world news. North Korea fires intercontinental ballistic missile after threatening the US. G7 to announce long-term Ukraine security package at NATO summit. And 7th cheetah dies in India since reintroduction. And that ends world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Deshakti Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
The Agrarian Development Department has provided 15 million rupees to maintain the minor irrigational network in the Kerala district. Assistant Commissioner of Agrarian Services Kalana Jayananda said that the finances have been received for the maintenance activities in tanks and the dam in the district. He also stated that 8.8 million rupees have been received for the development of agri-road network in the district. Accordingly, 10 agri-roads are to be developed. And that was Development News.
Vacancies for women from Deshakti Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Mathura. Contact number 037 7500 500.
On to sports news. Sri Lanka women's team won the T20 match played against New Zealand women by 10 wickets. New Zealand team scored 140 runs for 9 wickets at the end of their 20 overs. In reply, Sri Lanka women scored 143 runs for no loss at the end of their 14th over. And more sports news. 2 Sri Lankan teams will participate at the Youth Cricket Tournament to be conducted between the England Cricket Academy, which was organised by the ICC. The teams under the age categories of under 15 and under 19 affiliated to the Mercantile Cricket Academy are to participate. The chairman of the Mercantile Cricket Association, Nalin Wickramasinghe, said that this is the first time the Sri Lanka team is participating at this tournament. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
AIA Insurance is proud to announce its ISO 140641 2018 greenhouse gas emissions certification in yet another manifestation of its commitment to helping people live healthier, longer, better lives. This is globally respected certification that recognizes the company's commitment to sustainability and its efforts to reduce the carbon footprint and greenhouse gas emissions. Known to uphold the highest international standards and follow a rigorous qualification process, the certification is awarded to companies that demonstrate their ability to measure and reduce their greenhouse gas emissions while ensuring effective engagement in this regard across the entire organization. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
Pioneer in the digital banking revolution, Commercial Bank of Ceylon has announced that its omni-channel digital banking platform, CommBank Digital, has reached the milestone of 1 million registered users. An integration of all online and mobile banking channels on a single omni-channel platform, CommBank Digital, is offered via a responsive web application and 3 native mobile applications, iOS, Android and Huawei, enabling access across all devices such as desktop PCs, laptop, computers, tabs and smartphones. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
The Meteorology Department says several spells of light showers will occur in the western Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matra districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Ua province and in Ampara and Batticaloa district during the evening or night. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. And that was the weather report. And prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The Prime Minister says that the country's economy cannot be developed by forgetting the farmer communities. The government of Japan has provided their support to the digitalization project of the Rupawahini channels in Sri Lanka. The construction work at the Central Highway halted due to Pandukananda plant located in the road has been completed. The BASL says that the growing trend of MPs exploiting parliamentary privileges is deeply concerning. And in foreign news, North Korea fires intercontinental ballistic missile after threatening the US. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and handing over the microphone back to Satya on the other side to keep you company. Over to you.